14-0, the Tennessee Volunteers. Welcome in, everyone, for VFL Will Heflin. I'm Zach Nelson, blessed to be with you today. And Will, Tennessee, a little bit of history a night ago. Combined no-hitter, put up 12 in a shutout win. And today, they'll go to another right-handed arm that throws absolute heat in Marcus Phillips.
Yeah, Marcus Phillips comes in, the South Dakota native, by way of Iowa Western Community College. He's been pretty dominant to start this season so far. 1.35 ERA, 13 and a third innings, 7 hits, 2 earned, 6 walks, 20 punch-outs. Hitters only going $146 against him. For Phillips, it's a power heater, mid to upper 90s. Might see him up 100 today or at some point during the season. It's a hard slider, and for Phillips, the biggest improvement this year has just been the command of the zone and really being able to stretch deep into outings.
Phillips will face Jace Tarnish. Got on base twice a night ago. And on pitch number 1, right down the pipe, fouled away. We are underway here in Knoxville. Tennessee with win number 14 a night ago, as we alluded to. A combined no-hitter between 5 arms. A little bit more on that later in tonight's broadcast. But St. Bonaventure looking for their first hit, of course, here in their weekend trip to Knoxville. Phillips 1-1, runs outside. Tennessee 4 walks away last night from a perfect game between their combination of pitchers. And Tarnish laces that one out to right field. Back at the track, at the wall. She's gone. And St. Bonaventure's first hit of this series is a long one. 1-0 Bonnies.
.97-mile-per-hour fastball here on the outer half, and Tarnish has really been their most consistent hitter. Had a couple 4-hit games earlier in the year, and it's about as good as you can ask for coming off a night when it didn't really go your way. He stays on one here and punches it out to right field on a much more hitter-friendly environment with the wind softly but blowing outward tonight.
Chapman looked like he had a beat on it, but looked up and was over that right field wall. And welcome to the weekend, St. Bonaventure. A loud hit number 1 on the weekend. And they jump out in front. Now the 2-hole spot. That is Chris Holcraft. He'll round out for out number 1 for Tennessee. Go ahead and set that Tennessee defense for you today. First, out in the outfield from left to right, Dalton Bargo, Hunter Inslee, and Reese Chapman. Around the infield, Manny Marin will get the start over at third today. Dean Curley at short, and Gavin Keelan at second. Andrew Fisher occupies first base today. Behind the plate is Cannon Peebles. He left the yard last night. And the aforementioned Marcus Phillips towing the slab here in Knoxville in Game 2. And quickly jumps ahead in the count to the 3-hole spot in this St. Bonaventure order. It's David Marshall Jr., the second baseman today. And stays alive.
It's been all 96, 97 from Phillips so far today, with a 98 sprinkled in there to Tarnish. I believe it was the 0-1. That last one at 7.
Phillips 0-2. Outside. What a jolt of energy that St. Bonaventure can really feed off in that dugout here to begin Game 2.
Yeah, Tarnish came in tied for the team lead with 2 other guys, and takes the lead with his 3rd one on the year.
That one rolled over by Marshall, and Curley fires it over. Fisher's got it, out number 2 for the Big Orange.
Good bounce back from Phillips. Solo home run, not going to beat you. You got to score 1 anyways if you're Tennessee. So get right back on the mound and attack him. And, really, if you tell a pitcher, hey, you're going to give up 1 in the first, how do you want it to happen? He'd probably say, just let the leadoff guy hit a solo, and then I'll go 3 up, 3 down after that. So we'll see if Phillips is able to cap off a first inning.
Phillips has not went 5 innings thus far in the 2025 campaign. 2 outings of 4 2/3 innings of work in Houston last weekend against Rice on Saturday, and then in a win against Samford the week prior. Nice crowd we have today here at Lindsey Nelson Stadium. A lot of folks heading over from the basketball game, Tennessee over South Carolina, in the finale inside Thompson Bowling Arena, Food City Center.
Yeah, you mentioned he hasn't gotten super deep into games yet, but you can see the frame and just the effortlessness of Phillips. And he's been tabbed as maintaining his velocity quite literally better than anyone else in the country. So should be a routine fly there for Inslee, but
Gunning gets just under that one, and after giving up the leadoff home run to Jace Tarnish, Phillips settles in. 3 outs in a row. Tennessee will grab the bat here in Game 2 of the weekend series. St. Bonaventure in Tennessee. The Bonnies leading this one early 1-0 after the solo home run to begin this one. And St. Bonaventure's got a guy that can shove as well out there on the mound. Number 27, the junior, Michael Salina. And what do you think the key is for Salina today, Will, to shut down this Tennessee lineup that put up double digits again yesterday?
For Salina, it's going to be working ahead. This is probably the most power stuff on the St. Bonaventure staff. It's going to be mid to upper 90s, so the stuff is real. For him, it's going to be working ahead. And comes in with only 4 walks on the season, already up to 24 strikeouts. So he's done a good job of it. But I think facing this Tennessee lineup is another step up in class, if you will. So it'd be interesting to see how he goes about attacking them.
Salina, a 3.14 ERA. He's 1-0 here in his junior campaign. 14 1/3 innings of work, 13 hits, as Will mentioned. 24 strikeouts to go along with 4 walks. He has given up 2 home runs this season. And a guy, we were sitting down there at BP today, and a guy that stepped in and that can hit the long ball is Dean Curley. Watched him fire out about 5 home runs in a row out to the left field porches in batting practice today.
How do you like that first pitch slider out of the gate?
Salina is 1-0, fouled straight back to the screen, 1-1. Big opportunity here for Salina. Trying to nail down a big start before St. Bonaventure gets into conference play. Atlantic 10 action starts next week. And Curley rolls over that one to the shortstop. Falling over to first, out number 1 for the Bonnies in the first. Go ahead and set that St. Bonaventure defense for you today. Left to right, it's Vossen, Tarnish, and Vercoloni. Around the horn, QC, Holcraft, Marshall, and Little. Behind the dish today, Antonio Cordero. And as we mentioned on the mound, number 27, the righty, Michael Salina. Gavin Keelan steps in, 1 of 4 a night ago. But that one a big home run out to the deepest part of this ballpark. Keelan, a 490 hitter, 8 home runs, 22 RBI. And gets just underneath that one. Racing in is Vossen, the shortstop, and Holcraft will call off the left fielder for out number 2.
Holcraft had a pretty good size of ground to cover here. I thought maybe the left fielder, Vossen, was going to be the one to get there, but Holcraft does a good job, especially as he kind of exits the shade and keeps the sun from getting in his way. Makes a nice over-the-shoulder catch there.
A couple of difficult sight lines out in the outfield if you're playing in left or center, and in Holcraft's case, backing up from the shortstop position. Sun will set off our west here. As Hunter Inslee steps in the 3-hole spot today. And 1-1 to the Tennessee senior.
It's been a lot of slider for Selena so far, 83 to 85 with the slider. Only thrown 2 fastballs in the inning, they're both at 95.
Selena's 1-1, cut on and missed, and Selena and the Bonnies 1 strike away from getting out of the first.
Right back to the breaking ball there. It's been a heavy dose.
The 1-2. Upstairs, Selena in his second season at St. Bonaventure began his career as a freshman at Atlantic Tinfoil George Mason, had 10 appearances for George Mason. Looking to get out of the first here. Giving a 0 on the board against a nation's leader in a lot of hitting categories. This Tennessee offense is potent. Would like to mention there is a run rule in effect today. We previously mentioned there would not be one, as Inslee rolls over that one to third, and that one will skip away from Kusi, and Hunter Inslee reaches first. First base runner of the evening for Tennessee.
Yeah, this one kind of stays on the ground. Just on the way up, kind of hits off the heel of the glove and not able to corral it. So 2 outs. Tennessee gets a base runner by mistake, and we'll see if Fisher's able to capitalize for Tennessee.
If you're St. Bonaventure, you don't want to have guys on base when Andrew Fisher steps to the plate. Absolutely tattooed a baseball over the right center field scoreboard last night. That was into the wind. That was howling in last night. Fisher's been hot of late. 5 home runs in his last 4 games. Selena's 0-1. Well, he did not go 1-1.
First changeup of the night from Selena. Didn't throw one to the left-hander Keelan, but that one, that's some really good action. And at 90 miles an hour.
His 1-1. Outside, 2-1. Hitter count for Andrew Fisher. Looking to open up the scoring for Tennessee. He was trailed for the first time all weekend. The pitch. That looked like a good one for Fisher to hit. And now St. Bonaventure another strike away from getting out of the first. Selena dealing to Fisher here. 2-2 count, 2 gone, 1 on in the first. And Fisher up the middle, and nicely positioned was Holcraft, and he'll get it over to Little for out number 3. Hunter Inslee reaches via an error in the first, but Tennessee can't move him over. 1-0 St. Bonaventure here on an absolutely picture-perfect inning number 2. 5, 6, and 7 due up in the St. Bonaventure order. It'll be Antonio Cordero in the 5-hole spot. He's behind the dish today for head coach Jason Rathbun and the Bonnies. Those of you not familiar with St. Bonaventure, they're located in St. Bonaventure, New York. It's about 60 miles south of Buffalo. Established in 1858. Play at Fred Handler Park. First year of baseball was all the way back in 1882. They've got a couple of A-10 conference titles under their belt. Takes about a little over 10 hours to get from St. Bonaventure, New York to here at Lindsey Nelson Stadium, but St. Bonaventure's been on a volunteer state swing the last week. Played 3 teams up at Middle Tennessee State and Murfreesboro last weekend, sweeping the series against 3 opponents, and then lost in the midweek Wednesday night via the run rule against Vanderbilt. Haven't played a home game. Two from Phillips. Rolled a ball and the counter run full at 3-2.
Yeah, that one just off, but good location there. First borderline pitch, always a good time to mention Justin Robinson behind the dish tonight.
And the 3-2 cut on and miss. Strikeout for Marcus Phillips, his first of the evening.
Goes right back to it, and this time gets the swing, and Cordero not able to catch up.
Out number 1 here in the second. It'll be 99 Morgan Little, the first baseman, in the 6th spot today. Mentioned Justin Robinson behind the dish. Over at first, Will Posey. Second base umpire is Brian Peterson, and the home plate umpire from a night ago over at third is Derek Malika.
That's twice Peebles has been crossed up. Happened once in the first inning, got a breaking ball that he wasn't quite expecting. So we saw this last night. There's PitchCom technology is great until it doesn't work, just like anything else. Oftentimes could be user error as well.
Phillips coming into his junior season, his first season on Rocky Top as a sophomore, 4.95 ERA. Came in for 19 appearances, 20 innings of work a season ago. See that line so far for him this season coming into tonight. Added a strikeout here in the second to that strikeout total. And Morgan Little will see the 1-1 in here. Low, it's 2-1.
Yeah, really, since they got out of the gate, Phillips has been the 1-2 punch with Doyle on Friday night, and Phillips has really kind of taken the reins of this Saturday starter role.
Phillips down 2-ball, 2-strike count with Little. Looking to build off that first strikeout of the evening. Phillips, 2-2 in the second. Off the plate and will run full once more.
Little, although obviously did not get a hit, probably had some of the best swings off of Doyle last night.
3-2. Swung on and missed. Back-to-back strikeouts for the junior Marcus Phillips.
Reaches back for 98 on this one on the inner half, and just not able to get to it for Little. Phillips really aggressive with that one.
Reach back to get a little extra on that one. You mentioned it, 98. Looking to go 3 up, 3 down here in the second. Be number 45, Connor Vercoloni. Step into the dish. A .361 hitter this season. He's got 36 ABs. Was tied at the top of this Bonaventure lineup with 2 home runs. That before the deep ball early from Tarnish. St. Bonaventure looking to build on some momentum after the Tarnish solo blast. Phillips looking to get out of the second inning and behind in the count, 3-1. Phillips, 3-1. Hit right field. Ranging to his left is Chapman at the wall. Dangerously close to being 2-0 St. Bonaventure, but Phillips works a 1-2-3 inning in the second. Tennessee looking to grab the bats and get it. One of the best, if not the best, constructed lineups in the nation. Levi Clark will lead off inning number 2 as Michael Salina worked a pretty clean first inning. An error on the third baseman, Kusi. Let Inslee get to first, but St. Bonaventure hanging on to that 1-0 lead. Levi Clark, aforementioned 528 hitter. 19 hits this season, 5 long balls. Got 4 doubles to go along with 21 RBI. 1-0. Bounced in there. It's 2-0 to Levi Clark. Mentioned Tennessee 14-0 to begin the 2025 season, looking to tie the record for the best start in program history. Would tie the 2019 team as that one ran in on Clark. Tony Vitello has built an absolute machine of a program around here. Looking for win number 310 in his Tennessee tenure. And a 3-0 to Clark. Runs in for a strike, 3-1. Salina looking to work back in the count, and he will not do so. It's a leadoff walk for Levi Clark, and you do not want to do that to this lineup.
No, Salina was able to work ahead there in the first inning, and if he was behind, he used the slider as kind of a get-me-over to get back ahead. But leadoff walk is not ideal as a pitcher, but Reese Chapman will step in and see if they can't get some action going.
Reese Chapman hitting a really hot bat as he bounces over that one over to first. Safe at first. Clark out at second. To mention Reese Chapman, 14-game hitting streak.
Yeah, this one kind of a chopper, just wasn't hit hard enough for the double play to be turned. It's actually a really good effort by the shortstop Holcraft. And Chapman able to beat it out.
Now it'll be Cannon Peebles who broke the Tennessee scoring open yesterday. Looking to do so once again. The train rumbles by out in deep right field. I'm sure that the trains that run out past the outfield here at Lindsey Nelson Stadium, it'd take quite a poke, but maybe in left field they might be able to hit the train track. Would you think? That's pretty deep out. And right, you're definitely not getting out there, but if you clear the porch, maybe?
Maybe like a Jordan Beck over the porch. Ooh. Or somebody like that.
Good call.
Mike Honcho.
Cannon Peebles sees that one bounce in, 2-1. Jordan Beck doing his thing for the Rockies. Been good to see him up in the majors. Christian Moore, number 1 overall prospect in the Angels organization. As the 2-1 comes in, that one hacked. Will it stay in play? The third baseman, Kusi, and the catcher, Cordero. And Cordero calls off his third baseman. 2 gone. Out number 2, and Manny Marin will grab a bat. Nice job by the catcher in Cordero, losing the mask, finding the baseball, and getting out number 2. And now Manny Marin, one of the talented freshmen on this team, steps in. Did not see Marin and Ida go. His spot in the order occupied by Jay Abernathy. Another that Tennessee top recruiting class from a season ago. And Marin whiffs at that one, 0-1.
Yeah, Marin started a couple games in Houston over last weekend, but was held out in the midweeks. Got his bell rung doing something last weekend. They trying to be cautious with him, but they're very high on this young man.
The 0-1, back to the screen.
He did get an at-bat late for Fisher, I believe.
He did. He checked in late. So no start for him yesterday, but getting the start today. He, unlike Abernathy, who bats from the left side, will take his hacks from the right-handed batter's box. 28 pitches in from Salina, looking to work another efficient inning here in the second. His 0-2 is hit left side. That one will stay fair. Manny Marin's got a base hit. Reese Chapman will throw on the brakes at third. It'll be runners at third and second with Dalton Bargo coming to the dish.
This one just fair. May have actually hit the line. But Marin gets out front to a breaking ball and keeps it going with 2 outs. Yeah, that one just inside it. Maybe it didn't quite touch the line, but it was close.
Did you see the chalk fly up?
No chalk around here. Have to
maybe a pellet or two.
Take some spray paint with you.
Golden opportunity here for Tennessee to grab the lead as the upset-minded Bonnies out in front 1-0. Dalton Bargo in the 9-hole spot if he can reach back to the top of the order for Dean Curley. Bargo had himself a home run last night into the left field porches. And now Tennessee really looking to make Salina work here. Bargo ahead 2-0. Bargo, a .222 hitter. Has 4 home runs this season. Just looking to put one in play here and put Tennessee on the board. I want to reiterate one more time. If it does come to the fact tonight, again, we will have a run rule in effect for tonight and tomorrow night's game. That changed from it previously not being a run rule potential contest tonight. Bargo laces that one left field, and that'll get out of play. And now Salina 1 strikeout away. Or 1 strike away from getting out of the second. Big pitch here coming from Salina to Bargo. The 2-2. Hit on the ground, out of play. We'll redo the 2-2 count. This close to capacity crowd here at Lindsey Nelson Stadium looking to get a jolt of energy here early in this contest. 34 pitches in now from Salina. His pitch to Bargo. Just outside. Salina liked that one. About 4 steps toward that St. Bonaventure dugout.
Yeah, tried to talk Justin Robinson into that one, but that one was clearly off the plate in the river there. Between home plate and the batter's box.
Big pitch coming here. The 3-2. Fouled back, and Bargo's making Salina work.
Reaches back for 96 there on the 3-2. It's a good battle here we got going on with Bargo and Salina. Salina's got really good stuff. I mean, it's live.
His 3-2, once more. Hit, right side, base hit. Chapman will score. Marin will score. It's a 2 Out, 2 RBI single for Dalton Bargo, and Tennessee jumps in front 2-1.
Well, maybe the at-bat of the series so far, fights off a couple of good ones and then gets one he can handle and does a really good job of getting on top of it. Shoots it out into right field, and Marin gets a really good jump. It's actually a good throw, but too much speed from the freshman, able to slide in there as the go-ahead run here early.
That'll give this Lindsey Nelson Stadium crowd some energy here on a Saturday. And back to the top of the order for Dean Curley. Curley 0 for 1 today, grounded out to the shortstop in the first. He's got a man on in Bargo. Curley preseason watch list for the Golden Spikes Award, the most prestigious award in college baseball. Preseason All-SEC first-team shortstop, and Curley slashes that one foul. He was SEC All-Freshman team a season ago, and got a good nod at the College World Series All-Tournament team in Omaha.
Played shortstop for the Collegiate Team USA after that as well. All kinds of accolades rolling in for number 1.
He'll roll that one over to Salina, and he will underhand toss that one over to first, but not before. Dalton Bargo stands in and does damage. A 2-out, 2 RBI single for Bargo, and Tennessee's got a 2-1 lead. But not on Dalton Bargo's watch. And his first pitch bounces into the 8-hole spot. It's number 3, Ryan Cousy, the junior from Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. One of 3 players on the St. Bonaventure roster from Canada. St. Bonaventure bolsters a roster that has 9 players from the Empire State, New York. Again, 3 from Canada. We've got 11 seniors, including a couple graduates, and 6 freshmen make up this St. Bonaventure roster. And Cousy, a junior, batting .125 this season. Just has the 1 hit in 8 at-bats. Phillips, 2-2. Blew it by him. 96 with gas for Marcus Phillips, and he's got strikeout number 3.
This one kind of takes off on him, runs in on the hands of Cousy. Yeah, right under it with the swing.
Good placement there for that pitch from Marcus Phillips.
We were talking before, he holds his velocity so well. Nobody in the country after 50 pitches throws harder than Phillips, average fastball-wise. And tonight there hasn't been a single one below 97 or below 96, and it's been 96 to 98 the entire time. It's shades of Kumar Rocker is who comes to mind, just with the frame and the delivery. Not quite the same delivery, but Rocker, a former Commodore, just had a dominant slider and kind of a similar velocity range. Should have a big year for the Rangers.
I believe opening day, are we within 3 weeks now, I believe? As the 0-2 comes in, and Vossen stays alive. Oh, opening day's on a Thursday this year. I can't remember if it's for 3 weeks away, I believe. Paul Vossen in the 9-hole spot, facing an 0-2. The junior on senior matchup, and the senior wins that one. Marcus Phillips has settled in nicely into this contest, and now has 4 Ks tonight.
Goes back to the fastball and able to freeze Vossen right there. Good job by Peebles to kind of get around that one and able to get the call in the outer half. Turns it over to Tarnish at the top.
Tarnish, the lone hit on the weekend, was the home run in the first. Tarnish has reached base safely 3 times this weekend, 2 yesterday via the base on balls. And Tarnish lines that one up the middle. Curley can't field it. And Tarnish will reach base again and kind of comes up a little slow. Hopefully 21 in brown and gray uniforms is all right. Kind of a tough play there for Curley ranging to his left, but he would tell you that's one he should make all day.
Yeah, absolutely. Just kind of overran it a little bit. Looked like his glove was past the ball. Curley, a tough start to his week defensively. Had a couple errors in the first against Radford, but responded quickly with a leadoff homer. And Tennessee, no errors last night. Really played very solid defensively, which is always a factor when you throw a no-hitter. You gotta have good defense to keep it rolling and not have any unnecessary base runners.
Phillips will fire in the 0-1. Tarnish, a perfect 14 of 14 on stolen bases this season. Top 5 in the country in Division I in stolen bases. This St. Bonaventure team has 3 players that rank in the top 20 in the country in stolen bases. It's Tarnish, Gunning, and Vossen, as Curley's going to get another chance at this one and will toss over to Keelan for out number 3. Tennessee puts a 0 on the board after they get 2. Inslee, Fisher due up here in the 3rd. And when you hear those 3 names, just sit back and enjoy. Those 3 hitters, hot as anyone in the country. Go 480, 340, and 316. Fisher mentioned 5 home runs in his last 4 contests. Gavin Keelan will step in. Been kind of a quiet weekend for the Louisville transfer. 1 of 5. Mentioned the 1 home run, though. The 0-1 rolled over and played perfectly by the second baseman Holcraft. He was into the shift and quickly 1 away in the 3rd for the Bonnies.
Yeah, I couldn't tell if that was a kind of a 2-seam or just a hard changeup at 89 for Salina, but good job of getting Keelan to beat it into the ground, and they've had him shifted pretty well so far in this one. Couple ground balls up the middle that might have squeaked through in a normal positioning have been relatively easy plays for Holcraft.
Inslee rolls that one left side. St. Bonaventure playing Inslee pretty much straight up. The second baseman in Marshall shading up the middle. Inslee, a Tennessee native from Huntington, Tennessee, the redshirt senior. Fan favorite around Knoxville. The man fears no wall. The walls fear him. Is that Radford this week you made that catch?
Oh, yeah.
A pretty one. That one downstairs to Inslee at 2-1.
And that final score not indicative at all of how that game went. That catch was really kind of a momentum stopper for Radford, and Tennessee was able to gain momentum later in that one. But that kept it tied at the time.
Inslee and Tennessee playing their 4th game this week. They'll play their 5th tomorrow. They look to welcome in SEC foe Florida next weekend. As that one downstairs, Inslee works a walk, and Tennessee looking to piece together a little one-out magic in the third.
Speaking of the Gators, did a doubleheader against Harvard today. Won the first game 7-0 and up 5-12 in the second. Guessing that was due to some incoming weather in Gainesville, or they may be doing a 4-game. I'll go look real quick.
If Florida can hang on against the Crimson in Game 2 of the doubleheader, Florida will move to 15-2 on the season. It'll be a top 10 matchup, no doubt. We'll see how far the Gators rise in the polls. And if Tennessee, after this week, could be a consensus #1 team, we shall see.
Just the 3 games, so Florida will have an extra day before making the trip to Knoxville. But yeah, it depends on what happens in front of them. If a couple teams lose, I know North Carolina dropped 1 to Stanford. They bounced back today with a win. So if one of the teams in front of them does drop a series, then could end up being a top 5 matchup to open up SEC play.
Fisher is taking some absolute cuts up there at the plate.
Well, that was a breaking ball that stayed way up in the zone, and Fisher thought he saw a hanger, but wasn't able to get on playing with it.
See what Selena goes with on the 1-2 with 1 out and 1 base runner in the inning, and Fisher gets underneath that one. Kusi ranging back, and that one will reach between the second and third row down the left field line.
Yeah, Lindsey Nelson, not the largest foul territory ballpark. I'd say it's fairly normal. Does get slightly more narrow the further down left field you go with that new construction.
Pitch in, Fisher, that one has destination plans for the gap, and it'll one-hop the wall. Rounding third is Inslee. Relay throw will not be in time. Gavin Fisher has an RBI double. Tennessee +2 in the third.
Goes with this one. This is really the first left center double I can think of for Andrew Fisher so far this season. A beautiful swing to kind of punch it where it's pitched, and he had a huge gap there to work with the outfield kind of shaded over pull side, and easy double. Inslee able to score from first very easily.
The kid can pepper all parts of this field here in Knoxville, and now the stud of a freshman, Levi Clark, steps in, and Clark takes a hack. It's 0-1. Tennessee with 2 runs in the second, 1 in the third, looking to add to it. Clark reached via the walk back in the second. Now an inside, 1-1. Selena's pitch downstairs.
Hasn't landed the breaking ball as much this inning as he did back in the first. It's been tougher to get back into counts or work ahead. Did try to go in on Clark with the heaters, see if he goes back to it here.
Clark will see the 2-1 in for a strike at 2-2. Clark came into the collegiate ranks, ranked as the second highest prospect from the Peach State. Top catcher coming out of Georgia, out of the 2024 class. They'll see the 2-2 and hit that deep right field. Ranging in is Vercolone, and that one, I believe, off the wall out there. Redo the 2-2.
Yeah, construction on both sides. That one off the construction just beyond the new student section that's still going on.
Let me ask you, how do you feel about the bullpen being tucked under here in the left field?
Well, it's not great for us, but Tennessee will have some sort of feed or be able to see into it, so there's no competitive advantage. And in big league parks, when it's not visible from the dugout, then the other team will get, a behind view so they can see what number's thrown or something like that. So I would imagine there's something similar.
The 2-2 into Clark. Cuts at that one. Strikeout for Selena. Strikeout number 1 for Michael Selena, and gets a big K here now with 2 outs in the third.
Justin Robinson pulls the trigger like it was on the pitch, but that was definitely a swing too. So Levi Clark was out either way there. Just kind of realized, I think, had to be sitting breaking ball there and realized that's a fastball you probably need to try to fight off, and at that point it was too late. Selena, 94-96 the whole time tonight, has a really live fastball.
He'll deal to Reese Chapman here, who fouls that one away. Chapman has a hit in every game thus far for Tennessee, 14-game hitting streak. Reached via a fielder's choice in the second. So has been on base now in every game this season. The 0-1. Slashed, foul. Selena now with 60 pitches in. Tennessee's starting to make him work here in the last couple of innings. His 0-2. And Chapman stays alive. What do you think that Michael Selena has done well tonight for St. Bonaventure?
Well, he's got really good stuff, for one, which gives him a chance, and for the most part, he's filled up the zone. Does have 2 walks, but they've been sprinkled. And he's just been able to land the breaking ball for strikes and get swings on it. And his fastball command's been pretty solid.
He's got the 1 strikeout, the 0-2 to Chapman. Watch out, Ross Kivett. Good to catch up with Ross Kivett today.
He's a character, isn't he?
Nice guy. Really enjoyed getting to speak with him. Comes back to Knoxville from Houston. Want to congratulate he and his wife on their newborn child. As we're going to have a discussion on the hill.
Yeah, not sure what the reasoning is here in a 0-2 count. My only inclination is that Selena shook to something, and I believe that's head coach Rantham, Coach Raz as they call him.
Coach Raz has
certainly animated whatever they were talking about. I would assume it was over pitch selection, just given the timing, and maybe there was something we missed.
Indeed. Reese Chapman looking to stay alive. I'll shade him up the middle. And strikeout called. Selena, back-to-back strikeouts after giving up the 1 run in the third. We're a third of the way through here in Knoxville.
Really good pitch here to get through the order, or get through the inning, but Selena kind of wincing coming off.
And after that leadoff home run tonight.
He has, and he's commanded the strike zone really well and worked with efficiency.
Nice pitch down in the zone, and he quickly jumps ahead of Marshall, 0-2.
That's the second time the St. Bonnie bench has not been the most pleased with home plate umpire Justin Robinson. There was one earlier that there was a check swing and he kind of called a strike, and the first base umpire had signaled safe, but he wasn't actually motioning down. So obviously the dugout was displeased with that. And on that one, he didn't ask for a check down, and they seemed to think that he should have.
Robinson behind the dish today after Malika was our home plate umpire yesterday. Marshall will foul that one off into the year-old seats down the left field line. We talked about it a little bit yesterday, but this is really going to be one of the premier ballparks in the country after these renovations have been completed.
It's going to be really nice. There's a lot of really nice places. No conference nicer overall than the Southeastern Conference, and the ACC is certainly up there as well. But Tennessee really trying to, put their stamp on the upper echelon in terms of stadiums throughout the country and just overall environments. It'll never be the biggest here, but that's kind of a landlocked issue, if you will. But they're doing the most they can, and one of the unique parts about Lindsey Nelson Stadium is the intimacy and how close the fans can feel to the field, and it's just as loud as some of the places that can hold more people, and it's a really cool environment, especially later on in the year when there's postseason games going on here, and these fans have come to expect that and gotten used to it. They've gotten really good at it too.
The 3-2 cut on and missed. And Marcus Phillips taking over from where Liam Doyle and company left off a night ago. Adding to that strikeout total, he's got 5 tonight.
Yeah, good fastball up in the zone, and Marshall, probably the best player for St. Bonaventure, has made some really nice plays at second, and quality at bat there. Just Phillips is able to win the battle after a couple foul balls and good takes.
Gunning will roll over that one. Over at third today, Marin, low throw, grabbed over at first by Fisher, and quickly 2 gone here in our 4th.
You talked earlier about his longest outing of the year is 4 2/3. You have a long at bat like that, the one before, over 5 pitches, and you get a 1 pitch out on the next batter. That's huge for the development of Phillips as a starter as he starts to work deeper into games, and they stretch his pitch count out further as we get warmer and get further into SEC play. But you can see the stuff is there, and he's able to command multiple pitches for strikes. And the recipe's simple, way easier said than done, but that's definitely the recipe.
Really has the pitch count under control. Now 55 pitches in, 3 2/3 innings thus far. He'll work to Antonio Cordero, batting 5th today. Cordero, one of the strikeout victims of Phillips. Struck him out back in the 2nd. St. Bonaventure 1 of 13 today. The one was the home run from Tarnish. And Phillips, a pretty spot there inside. And Marcus in the Vols looking to get back in the dugout. Here in the 4th. 2 outs, 2-2 count. Coming from Phillips to Cordero. The pitch. Fouled back to the netting. Phillips has had a nice evening thus far. Got the ERA down to 1.59. He's got 5 strikeouts and 3 2/3 innings of work. And that one just low. The home crowd does not like that.
Could have went either way there. Touchdown.
And on pitch number 60 of his night, Marcus Phillips gets a ground out to short. Curley, Fisher, 3 up, 3 down. Go the Bonnies here in the 4th. Tennessee looking to add to their total tonight in Knoxville. We'll take a look at this week's D1 baseball poll. LSU occupying the number 1 spot. The other 4 major polls, Tennessee at number 1. But as you see year in and year out, the SEC dominating that top 10.
They are, and the one that kind of sticks out to me, if just from looking at some scores earlier, was Virginia played a football game today. It was 22-16 final with Boston College in game 2. Virginia did win after dropping Friday night, but a team that came in pretty consensus top 3, so good to keep an eye on them. And you look at that 1-2-3, and it's not really all that surprising. LSU, Tennessee, Arkansas, really since 2021. Those are some familiar faces and, common culprits, if you will, but it's been a power struggle at the top, kind of back and forth the last few years. And North Carolina, a team who Tennessee played in Omaha last year and did lose some guys. Vance Honeycutt was drafted in the 1st round, a phenomenal center fielder, but they returned a ton of pitching. And North Carolina really does have some go-to arms, and were able to bring in some portal guys to help fill some gaps in the lineup as well.
The ACC will make noise again here this season. We saw there Virginia, Florida State, UNC. Clemson, always.
Clemson off to a strong start, for sure.
I mean,
that'll all change, Right now it's
early. Enough.
ACC's in their first conference weekend, and SEC hasn't even started conference yet, so think back to last year, Kentucky was number 1 for a while and finished number 2, but they were certainly in the top 10 for most of the year. Wouldn't have been on that list at this point last year. Georgia sneaking in there at, I believe they were at 5 or 6. Off to a good start. Wes Johnson in his 2nd year there has done a phenomenal job.
And Georgia losing one of the best bats that they've had in their program history after last season.
Who, Charlie Condon, that guy?
Ever heard of that guy?
Yeah, he was okay.
Seven, 8, and 9, the bottom 3rd of the Tennessee order is Cannon Peebles. And he'll roll that one over to the 3rd baseman. Kusi, long throw to first, brings Little off the bag. And they rule that he got Peebles on the shoulder. 1 up, 1 down for the Bonnies.
I was nerding out so much over D1 baseball rankings, we didn't even realize Selena came out. And Gabe Watts entered, the senior lefty for the Bonnies, which is why Peebles was turned around and hit from the right side. So there had to be, he was wincing coming off the mound in that last inning, which is really unfortunate. Had kind of settled in, and the stuff was good. I hope he's okay, but didn't feel like he could continue, and so now here's Watts.
Selena had an efficient outing. Just the 3 earned runs given up. And as you mentioned, Gabe Watts coming in for the Bonnies. The lefty. One and 1 on the season, 9 innings of work. As we'll try to get an eye on Selena in the dugout if we can find him. Watts, 4 earned runs, 7 hits, 14 strikeouts to 6 walks. He has given up 2 long balls here in 2025. And a clean round 4.0 ERA.
Thought you were about to say GPA. Must be a smart guy.
Were you a 4.0 GPA kind of guy? That one swung on and missed. Manny Marin strikes out.
Mama Heflin was a teacher.
Ooh.
I didn't have a choice. Watts goes heater up and gets Marin to swing through it. Lefty's 89, 91 from what we've seen so far. Pretty sharp slider from the left side. Definitely one of their more trusted arms out of the bullpen. And at this point in the order, knowing you turn Peebles around and you've got the lefty Bargo up.
Bargo had the big damage to St. Bonaventure in the second. The 2 RBI single, his 8th and 9th RBIs of the season. But he's behind in the count here to the new pitcher, Watts, 0-2. Watts, a senior from Johnsonburg, Pennsylvania. Played all 4 seasons in St. Bonaventure, New York. Bargo, weak contact. Cordero will have to make a play from behind the plate, and he'll do so.
Nice play. Like a cat from behind the plate.
St. Bonaventure hangs a 0 up there for Tennessee. We're through 4 here in Knoxville. Number 2, Tennessee 3. We go in a pretty evening here on Rocky Top. What a beautiful day we had today here in East Tennessee. And a lot of the folks here in the crowd making their way from the basketball game, where Tennessee took down South Carolina 75-65. Just one of those days you say we're going to just go to campus and enjoy what the athletic teams have to offer. As Phillips will deal here in the 5th. Tennessee mentioned 75-65 winner in basketball today behind Chaz Lanier's 23 points. It's Jordan Gainey, Jemai Mashak, and Zakai Ziegler, as well as some others. Senior day today. Talk about the backbone to really a program, as that one is rolled over to second. And Keelan over to Fisher for out number 1. Tennessee basketball will head into the SEC tournament this weekend in Nashville. Also want to make mention of St. Bonaventure, their basketball team, a 64-61 win today at Davidson. I'll head to the Atlantic 10 tournament being held in Washington, D.C. this weekend at Capital One Arena. Got to talk a little basketball in March.
March what? March Madness.
March Madness. March equals madness. And that one is hit sharply left side from Verkalane, and that one will bounce off the wall. Hit number 2 on the weekend goes to the St. Bonaventure sophomore, and got something working here in the second. First hit given up by Phillips since that leadoff home run.
Yeah, ambushes this fastball and had some top spin on it. Otherwise, he might have been able to carry it out, but certainly Tennessee outfield was shaded to the other way. Weren't expecting him to pull it like that. Got the bat head out on that one. It was a really good swing.
Now the 8-hole spot, and Ryan Cousy. We're going to get St. Bonaventure on the board once more tonight. And Cannon Peebles and infield will come in and chat with Marcus Phillips. Will anyone emerge out of that Tennessee bullpen, the dugout? Nobody's throwing out there. Looks like we'll just have a chat at the mound amongst the infield. A lot of sitting out there, and right as I say that, somebody hops up and back down in the right field bullpen for Tennessee. We'll never see the Cards played by St. Bonaventure with their bullpen being underneath the left field stands here. As Kusi with a big swing there, 1-1.
Yeah, probably just an action plan on that quick discussion with the infielders in case there was some sort of action from second.
That one sharply hit center field, ranging back Inslee. He's got it. Advancing 90 feet is Vercoloni, and he'll reach third safely. This is just the second time all weekend that a Bonnie has occupied third base.
Really good swing from Kusi there. Inslee had him lined up pretty good and was able to get a good jump as he always does, but Kusi stayed through that one and smoked it to right center.
Now Paul Volson in the 9-hole spot today. 0 for 1, the senior. Actually set a program record for stolen bases. He had 7 stolen bases in a win over in Murfreesboro against UT Martin last weekend. Just one shy of the Division I record of 8. Held back in 2001 by Bobby Kingsbury of Fordham.
It's a lot of bags in one game.
That is a lot of bags. Boston will see the 1-1 here, and right on cue will throw down a bunt, try to find something, but Marcus Phillips fills his position well. St. Bonaventure had something cooking here in the 5th, but Tennessee slams that door shut. The Vols maintain their 2 to the bottom of the 5th we go. Tennessee occupying one of 3 unbeaten teams here in 2025. See the kids from Tuscaloosa and Tallahassee on that list as well.
Tennessee will meet Alabama 2 weeks from this weekend for the second SEC series down in Tuscaloosa. With the new scheduling, Tennessee will actually go to Alabama for the second year in a row, which would have never happened under the old format, but I guess in this transition year that you're going to run into some scheduling deals like that. But funny enough, the last series that Tennessee lost as a program was down in Tuscaloosa. So if Tennessee is able to win tonight and then win the series against Florida next weekend, they'll head to Tuscaloosa with that still being the last series that they lost.
Could you imagine if both teams remain undefeated? Alabama will head to College Station next weekend to take on A&M. Could you imagine the scene in Tuscaloosa if both teams come in undefeated?
I'm not saying it's not possible, but I'd be surprised.
Be a good test for Texas A&M as they've kind of reeled here early. Came into the week ranked 14th, being the preseason #1 team in the country.
Yeah, it's just been a slow offensive start for A&M. The pitching in certain spots has shined, and they do have to replace Aschenbeck and Cortez, but still really like that team. And you almost, as a weird baseball mind that I am, I kind of almost feel like it's a good thing for them to start this way. Let people kind of turn their attention elsewhere, and then we'll blink and A&M will be right back kind of where everybody expected them to be. Maybe not. New head coach, you never know how it's going to go. But the talent's certainly there. So baseball is a sport you never give up on anybody too early.
SEC just reloading again here in 2025 as Gavin Keelan will step in after this Dean Curley 4-pitch walk. And Gabe Watts having a meeting on the mound. Believe that's Rathbun out there again with catcher Cordero. Mentioned Watts kind of sneaked out there on us after the starting pitcher Selena's day was done. A lefty on lefty matchup with Watts and Gavin Keelan. If you're Tennessee and Tony Vitello, I think you really want to see Keelan get a good rip on one here. Again, 1 of 5 on the weekend. Still batting .471 though, and will square to bunt, pull it back 1-0.
Well, he couldn't get any hotter after last week. And continued that in the 2 midweek matchups this week. So a little bit of regression to the mean, but still seeing it extremely well. And he's hit lefties phenomenally all year. There's a couple of those 8 homers against lefties and just has stayed through the ball so well. See him use all fields.
Keelan will see that upstairs for a strike, 1-2. Coming into the week, USA Baseball Golden Spikes Award Player of the Week. Also, SEC Player of the Week, and was the MVP of the Astros Foundation College Classic last weekend as Tennessee swept the weekend with the wins over Oklahoma State, Rice, and Arizona. Looking to match a program record for the best start in a season. And Keelan, right on cue, gets a base hit into right field. Curley will stop at second, and it's the first hit of the night for the Louisville transfer Keelan.
Got a whole lot of breaking balls in this at bat, and that one kind of slides right down into the slot for Keelan, able to yank it through the 4-hole.
Curley had to slow that momentum a bit. That one was hit sharply off the bat of 6 in orange. We haven't touched on the uniforms tonight, as we talked a little bit about the home whites last night. Would you say this is a top 10 uniform in baseball, in college baseball? As Inslee squares the bunt, throw down to third. Double steal was put on. Curley and Keelan advance 90 feet. Beautifully set up by Tennessee.
You just mean the classic orange vol top?
Yes.
Certainly a clean look. There's a lot of good uniform combos across the country, and Tennessee's got some really good ones as well.
Give me a quick 1, 2, 3. Whites, vols, orange uniforms, or creams. Or you can go the new pinstripes. You can throw that in there. After this 1-1. Outside.
I don't get dark mode.
Okay, you can have dark mode. That's fair.
I mean,
Dark mode with the white pants or with the grays?
Looks good with either, but typically you'll go gray because you'll be wearing that on the road, or a neutral site like Tennessee was sporting in TD Ameritrade for Game 3 of the national championship.
A 2-2 downstairs.
I'll go creams 1, dark mode 2, and the orange vol top 3.
I think you have a good top 3. I would agree. The 3-2 from Hunter Inslee. No outs in the inning. Inslee goes down to fight that one off.
Got to be careful, though. I know that was a hot button topic a couple weeks ago when the season started and the new uniforms were revealed and all that.
We can only rank what we've seen.
I mean, yeah, there's more important things to worry about.
Infield is in for St. Bonaventure, the 3-2. into that St. Bonaventure dugout and redo the 3-2. Hunter Inslee reached via an error in the first, walked, came around to score in the third. St. Bonaventure playing up almost to where the turf grass and turf dirt meet. The 3-2. Hit right side. That should be deep enough for Curley. And he'll race in and score. It is a sacrifice fly and a run scored for Tennessee. They lead 4-1.
Long veteran at bat for Mr. Hunter Inslee. That one kind of had Vercoloni in a spin cycle out there. Does a good job just to stay with it and make sure he at least gets an out. But it was always deep enough that it was going to score Curley.
Nice concentration by the St. Bonaventure right fielder.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure what happened. The wind's not doing anything crazy right now, and certainly not blowing back the direction he had ran.
Infield in, and ball dying down at the track, but another sacrifice fly and another run scored. Tennessee playing a little small ball tonight. They lead 5-1 now. They do it via the home run last night and just station to station tonight.
Fisher puts a good swing on this one, but it had top spin. May have got it a touch out front. But good enough to get the run in.
Levi Clark steps in. It's a lefty on righty matchup. Again, want to reiterate as we're not close to that tonight, but we did anticipate this game to not have a run rule, and it does tonight. Tennessee leads 5-1, 5 runs off 4 hits and an error for Tony Vitello's squad. 1 run on 2 hits, also with an error for St. Bonaventure.
Good breaking ball there to get back in the count. Clark sitting dead red. Able to flip one in there to steal a strike.
Sneaks 78 into Clark. Clark still batting over 500 at 514. Walked in the second, struck out in the third. He's got 5 home runs for this team to go along with 19 hits, 21 RBI, and 10 free bases. The 3-1. Inside and walk number 11 here on the freshman campaign for Levi Clark.
It's insane how advanced he is as a hitter. He's really not a freshman. I mean, he's strong, has a insane bat control and good awareness of the zone. Really just looks in total control when he's in the box. And I guess because of his age and just got to campus, he's a true freshman. But
wise beyond his years.
He's a stud.
Outreach Chapman looking to add to that hit streak. Reached via fielder's choice in the second, struck out looking in the third. Gabe Watts working in his second inning of work tonight, giving up 2 earned runs thus far. And Chapman hacks that one back to the screen.
Pretty good one there to hit for Chapman. Fastball at 88, pretty center cut. He's seen Watts spin a lot of breaking balls, though, and was able to sneak it by him or at least get him not keep it fair.
The 0-2. Fouled back once more. Nice battle for Chapman.
Yeah, nothing you can do with that one. Breaking ball away, and he does get that one to the glove side. pretty perfectly located, but Chapman spoils it to see another.
With 2 outs and 2 in, and an 0-2 count from Watts. Upstairs heat, and we'll get the swing and miss from Reese Chapman, but not before 2 sacrifice flies and 2 runs scored. Back to Knoxville, we'll take a look at the SEC preseason coaches poll. That came out just before game number 1. You see there, Texas A&M Aggies receiving 10 first-place votes. Mentioned kind of reeling so far in this season, but a couple new faces to this poll. Texas and Oklahoma in there, slotted at 8 and 11th.
Yeah, both been extremely competitive to start their year. Oklahoma was undefeated there for a while, and Texas has played in a lot of big-time games. Looked really good in a Las Vegas tournament last weekend where they swept. And Ole Miss down there at 15 has been pretty good. They have a big win against Clemson, and we'll see. It's the deepest league in all of sports, and it's the best for a reason. There's so many MLB prospects and so many traditions of winning, and it's just dominant, and that's why you see 3-4 in Omaha every year. In the last several years, it's been SEC matchups in the championship. And this year doesn't look a whole lot different. So go ahead.
Texas really adding to that prestige of the SEC. You got to feel bad for the other softball schools in the SEC with Texas and Oklahoma coming over. I know when I first saw the news of the 2 schools coming in the SEC, my mind immediately obviously went to football, but then I thought, oh, wow, softball is getting a couple of big-time programs. As that one hit sharply, right field, Chapman back at the warning track will close his mitt for out number 1. After nice contact there from Tarnish, he's done it all weekend.
Yeah, another good swing the opposite way from Tarnish, but doesn't quite get this one as good, and Chapman's able to run under it. Maybe just off the cap there.
I've really been impressed by the junior leadoff batter in Tarnish this weekend.
I don't want to jinx it, but I haven't heard the beep in the last couple minutes, so trying to make sure that stays.
Almost.
Phillips now well into his longest start of his career. Last fastball at 94, as I've mentioned 3 times now. Holds his velocity very well.
79, now 80 pitches in the 6th. That's a 2-hole spot, and Chris Holcraft comes in. 0 for 2 today. And 1 at 85 down the middle at 2-2.
It's been mostly fastball slider for Phillips, but he does have a changeup he'll work lefties off of. For St. Bonnie, though, David Marshall comes to mind. One of few lefties. They just don't have a ton.
It's a lineup that I believe will produce quite well in Atlantic 10 play, as Peebles calls the pitcher Phillips off. Nice play from behind the dish for out number 2.
That was an interesting one. Kind of some traffic there with Holcraft trying to get out of the way and get down the line and avoid the ball. Peebles a good job to not rush it and make sure he picks it up and throws him out.
Marshall will grab a bat for St. Bonaventure. Mentioned the A-10. A couple of good series around the league this weekend. Davidson travels to Clemson, South Carolina. UMass and Navy, Army and Fordham. As that one's hit left side, that'll duck down for a base hit. Marshall will round first, and he will cruise into second with a 2-out double.
Really good swing to shoot this one down the line. Fastball at 94. Goes with it. Puts himself in scoring position here with 2 outs. And now you've got Mike Gunning coming to the plate. Phillips up to 85 now. Pitch count.
Would you say this is probably his last batter or at least get out of the inning? Well, right on cue, Tony Vitello. Walking out to the mound.
And Holcraft was his last batter.
And just as they did a night ago, this Tennessee crowd applauding the effort from another strong arm and another strong appearance from Marcus Phillips. His day is done in the orange and white. Phillips will have worked 5 2/3 innings, giving up the 3 hits, the 1 run. The runner at second in Marshall is the responsibility of Phillips as they still await for that bullpen door to open. Phillips, another competitive.
Looks like it'll be Franklin again.
We saw Tanner Franklin a night ago. And as 50 in orange trots in, he took the baseball from Liam Doyle after a 13 strikeout performance a night ago. And Marcus Phillips with that ball in hand did his job today. It'll be Nate Steed to grab the ball. Marcus Phillips had himself a day. The Tennessee fans will let him hear it. Got a pitching change here. Gabe Watts in for his 3rd inning of work tonight. Here in the final non-conference weekend series for both teams. Tennessee again will welcome the Florida Gators next weekend as St. Bonaventure will go to Richmond, take on the Spiders. You jinxed it, we'll have one. 1-0 into Cannon Peoples is in their first strike, 1-1. Peoples a .233 hitter, 0 for 2 tonight. Had a 1 home run a night ago. And gets underneath that one for out number 1. Do want to apologize to our viewers at home. We don't have a clue what the beeping noise is behind us. This is completely new construction in a press box here in Lindsey Nelson Stadium. So something's made its way into our booth.
Tony Vitello in his post-game earlier this week mentioned he wasn't a lawyer. We are certainly not technicians or engineers or doctors or lawyers. Manny Marin. Fair ball, left field line. That's his 2nd double of the game, I believe. Freshman stays hot.
I like your play-by-play voice. I'll take the color commentator. Nice job by Marin there, sneaking that one in the third base line. Beautiful inside-out hitting from Marin, and just trots into second. How'd I do?
Nice. I just got out of my soapbox there, and he swung, so had to roll with it.
I like it. Dalton Bargo will step in. Outside, and it'll get past the catcher Cordero. A free 90 feet for Manny Marin, looking to score his first run of the weekend.
Tries to go first pitch, breaking ball to Bargo, and Yanks it. Gets away from Cordero.
1-0 is hit sky high into the East Tennessee night. This will be a tough play, but settling under it as it was coming back in play was Cordero. Nice play behind the dish from 7.
Yeah, those are always really tough because they're going to spin back. So it's really easy to overrun, but you see Cordero just kind of hang out. Gets in position, and he's not in any hurry to figure it out. He waits until he's sure of where it's going to end up, and then he kind of makes that one-step athletic movement that you have to make to finalize the catch.
Now fill me in here. If a ball is hit perfectly, as pitcher Will Heflin sits to my right, ball is hit, we'll say, skyrocketed right above the pitcher's mound. We'll say at the slab. Whose is it? I mean, just perfectly, straight up in the air, where the pitching mound is. Just whoever calls it off?
Yeah, typically it ends up being the first baseman.
Does athlete Will Heflin stand there and grab it?
Not if it's super high, no, because you stand there and your feet get heavy. It's best to get out of the way, and somebody who's coming in has a much easier time to make that play. But
as Curley launches that one right side, if it's fair, it's gone, and it is gone. Dean Curley sends that one into the Tennessee bullpen, the first home run of the night for the team that leads the nation in long balls. Found the ball.
yeah, gives his friends down in the bullpen a souvenir. This breaking ball just stays up and out on Watts, and Curley does a good job of going with it and has just enough on it to get it out to the bullpen and right over the short 320 wall.
Might be the day on Watts. Looks like the flag started to pick up a little bit of steam out there in right center. Might have helped that one over the wall.
It's carried okay out there to right after being a total graveyard last night. Blowing straight in off that right center foul pole.
And went left the yard at 93 miles an hour. 333 is how far the ball traveled, and went up in the zone to get that one. New pitcher trots in for St. Bonaventure. Tennessee with another 2 spot and another 2-out hitting. From on the bump for St. Bonaventure, Tom Wilkie, the junior from Hampton Bays, New York. Tall frame at 6'5" will come in for St. Bonaventure. Face Gavin Keelan. After Dean Curley left the yard. A 7-1 game, and he yanks that one behind Keelan.
So Wilkie's going to be 89-91, that tall frame like you mentioned. Breaking ball, the lefties, change-ups.
And taken off out of the dugout down the right field line.
That last heater at 92.
Keelan got his first hit of the night back in the 5th. Single, came around to score. And that one outside, 2-1. Mentioned it again, Tennessee looking to get off to their best start in program history. Or to tie it, I should say. And that one jumps in at Keelan.
Yeah, Keelan understandably pretty frustrated. You step in the box and see one go behind you on the first pitch of the afternoon for Wilkie, and then Goes one in the right-hander's batter's box and then back in your batter's box, hits you right in the backside. Not ideal, but obviously no intent there from Wilkie. He's, as they say, effectively wild.
Hunter Inslee in for his fourth AB of the night. The numbers on Wilkie, the lefty, a 6.0 ERA, 3 innings of work thus far this season, 2 earned runs, 1 strikeout, 3 walks. The 1-0. Big hack from Inslee.
Yeah, you can see the arm's pretty live from Wilkie. That one at 90, he's got some real whip in there, and coming out of the 6'5" frame, it's got to get on the hitters pretty quick. For him, it's going to be a matter of strikes.
Off and running is Keelan, and he'll have to retreat back to first. Tennessee, 2 runs in the second, 1 in the third, 2 in the fifth, and now 2 in the home half of our sixth. Wilkie in his second season at St. Bonaventure comes over from Drew University in New Jersey and hops that one in. Be 2-2.
You mentioned yesterday Bonnie's being a team that likes to run. 41 bags already this year. Tennessee, like 14. We saw Keelan go in motion there.
Check swing, did he go? He did not. Rules first base. Umpire Will Posey. Yeah, that really the only category you look down at, and Tennessee not top in the country in.
Well, when you have 42 home runs, 43 now after Curley's.
Also a 2.06 ERA as a pitching staff.
Really don't want to give the other team a chance to steal an out when the odds of you scoring that hitter on, or scoring that base runner with the hitter in the box, putting one over the fence.
Tennessee's really done their thing on both sides, offense and defense, this season. The 3-2. Fouled away, and Inslee working another long at bat here in the sixth.
And the next one will be pitch number 7 or 8 of the at bat. But there are times and places for being able to run, and Tennessee does have some athletic base stealing threats, Keelan being one of them. He's not even going to be held on here with the 3-2 count and 2 outs, so he's going to be rolling on the pitch.
The 3-2 from Wilkie, hit right back at him, and Wilkie throws it wide. Little can't hang on to it. Keelan will move first to third as he was off with the pitch. And that a tough play as that one was lined right back at the pitcher, Wilkie. Just hurried himself a little bit.
Yeah, he kind of knocks it down with his body, but there was a rocket over the first baseman, Little, and handcuffs him. He's not able to hang with it and hold on. He does knock it down to prevent Inslee from advancing to second.
Andrew Fisher steps in. That one runs inside on 11. Wilkie kind of all over the place.
Looks like he got the knob there, or maybe just over the handle, because it definitely hit something on Fisher.
The 0-1. Battled off 0-2. Andrew Fisher to go along with Gavin Keelan. Been really fun to watch in their brief time thus far in the orange and white. The 0-2. Fisher has to duck out of the way of it. 15 pitches in from the lefty Wilkie. Will do. Low and away. Vols have done their part tonight, putting up 7 on the scoreboard. Outscoring the Bonnies 19-1 this weekend. And looking to add to it in the 6th. It was a 2-out, 2-run home run for Dean Curley. And release Inslee at first here. 3-2, 2 outs in the 6th. The pitch from Wilkie to Fisher is fought off. We'll have a 3-2 once more. The pitch. Right down the middle. Strike 3 called. Nice pitch to get out of the inning from Wilkie, but not before. A 2-run home run from Dean Curley. Tennessee with a 5-run.
That one against Texas kind of catches my eye. That'll be a good one to see as well. Texas, their first series as a part of the SEC.
12 of 16 teams you saw there on that graphic ranked. No different this year in the SEC.
Earlier when Snead came out of the bullpen, I thought it was Franklin again. I was mistaken Nate Snead for the other upper 90s right-handed reliever that the Vols have in the bullpen. But Nate Snead, trusted Vols reliever slash starter slash closer slash Swiss Army knife.
Cordero rolls over that one. Over to first in time for out number 1. You mentioned Snead. Preseason All-American. First team right-handed, a relief pitcher, I should say. Also preseason All-SEC first team member as well.
Yeah, it's going to be 96 to 100 for number 7. Has multiple variations of a breaking ball, as you see. That one, a slider at 85. Kind of has a tighter one in the upper 80s, low 90s. It's more of a cutter and has a changeup as well. He's not just a hard thrower, but a well-rounded pitcher, and he's got back-to-back ground balls to start this inning for out number 2.
Gavin Keelan's had his work done here in inning number 7. A couple of ground outs. Going 4-3. Now number 45, Bercoloni steps in. Richard sophomore from Plymouth, Massachusetts. Doubled in the 5th and whiffs at that one. Now 0-2. Nate Snead looking to work a really quick 7th inning. With Tennessee up 7-1. 7 deals. And another soft contact roller. Antigua checks into the game at short and gets the put out. 10 pitches, 3 outs for Nate Snead out of that Tennessee bullpen. We're stretching here in Knoxville as we go to the bottom half of this. Bonaventure, Tennessee cruising right now up 7-1, looking to win the series. Tie their best start in program history, which would be 15-0. Levi Clark in the 5-hole spot will lead us off. 5, 6, and 7 due up. It would be Clark, Chapman, and Peebles if all 3 keep a bat in their hand. Clark will see that one in and away.
I tell you, he's a little squirrely, but I like Wilkie. He's got good stuff, and he is anything but comfortable for a hitter in the box.
Can you give me a good definition of squirrely?
Yeah, kind of. Think about the squirrel from Ice Age, kind of all over the place, bouncing around.
Maybe like a little road runner as well.
Yeah, sometimes over here, sometimes over there. But it's a good-looking arm. And up to 92. Levi Clark, what is that, his third walk today?
Still a movie quote. He just gets on base. That's what he does. He also hits well, over 500 on the season. Now Reese Chapman will step in. 0 for 3 today.
That's Jay Abernathy pinch running for Levi Clark over there at first, the freshman.
Freshman in, freshman out. Speaking of freshmen, Manny Marin's got a 2 for 3 day working down in the 8-hole spot today. And that one hit sharply. Reese Chapman now has a hit in 15 consecutive games for the Vols, and Chapman's not stopping until he reaches second. It is a double for 13 in orange, now with 2 on and in scoring position.
Stays through this one to left center, and it's about as perfect as you can do it left on left. It's a fastball he can handle, and Vols have 2 out, 2 on with nobody out.
Cannon Peebles. See 2 in scoring position. Abernathy at third, as you mentioned, and that one in on Peebles.
That one was a little squirrely.
I wasn't going to say it. Good call. Now the base is loaded. For Tennessee, a grand slam would send us home tonight. Would be via the run rule. As Manny Marin working on a nice 2 for 3 day. Tennessee currently is outscoring opponents, as we'll have a meeting on the mound. This season, they're outscoring opponents 182 to 33. Now they're just over 14 games they've played. They have won. In 14 of those games, 6 of them have came via the run rule. Bases loaded for Tennessee here in his 3rd season as the head man of St. Bonaventure. And the Bonnies to 2 Power 5 wins during the 2024 season. A couple of wins at Louisville and then at Penn State. Led his team to the 2022 NJCAA National Championship. And he'll elect to go to the 6'6" pitcher, Ethan Catney Forbes, the freshman. What a frame he's got on him, 6'6", 245. He'll come in with the bases loaded and the freshman Manny Marin at the plate. Marin's got a couple of doubles to his credit tonight, has scored twice as well in the 2nd and the 6th. Reset for you, Abernathy at 3rd, Chapman at 2nd, Peebles at 1st, Marin at the dish for Tennessee. Pitch in for a strike, 0-1. Forbes, one of 3 players on this roster from the country of Canada. Redshirted a season ago, and Manny sends that out to left field. If it's fair, it's gone. It is gone, and that is the ball game. Manny Marin, have yourself a night, young man. 3 for 4. And ending this one in the 7th. The 7th run roll win for Tennessee.
The 4th grand slam of the week. 2nd one, essentially a walk-off. I don't think Tennessee players or St. Bonnie players were aware, but the umpires are leaving the field. This game It's over. Everybody's going home now.
Manny Marin watched that one out of the yard, and then just a nasty bat flip to cap it off. Tennessee now is tied the program record for most wins to begin a season. And what a bow on that present from Manny Marin as he does a porch job out to left field to end this one for Tennessee. What'd you like tonight, Will, as we head into Game 3 tomorrow? Tennessee leads the series 2-0.
Well, Phillips gave you a really good start. Despite the leadoff home run, settled in nicely and gave you a quality start. And the lineup didn't quite have the 7 spot or 10 spot that we saw a couple times earlier this week, but just consistent 1-2 here, consistent jab there, and then finally get the knockout blow in the 7th.
Manny Marin will celebrate with the daddy hat on his head tonight. And Tennessee wins the series and looks to go for the sweep tomorrow at 1 o'clock here at Lindsey Nelson Stadium. Well, that'll do it for us here in Knoxville. It was a pleasure being with you tonight. For our director, Max Galpin, and our analyst tonight, Will Heflin, as well as our entire SEC Network crew, we say thank you for joining us tonight.